Hey everybody, gonna start this day with a smile. And if you've got some gratitude, walk with me for a mile. We can share stories of what we like. We can walk the whole way or take a bike. We can have a little bit of time to hug. I don't think we'll smoke some nugs, 'cause I'm having a time with a clear head with you. We're gonna share some gratitude. Everybody gather around for love morning. Hi, good morning. Welcome to this day. I think I'm broadcasting on YouTube today as well as Facebook. I think I found what was wrong. Yes! It looks to be live. Let's see. Yay! I figured it out. Oh, if you missed the broadcast the last few days and you want to rewatch them, the archives I was able to find and make public on YouTube. But that's past. We are present. And even if you're watching this as a recording, this is your present. I don't want to step on your present, but I'm grateful to be a part of your present, even if this is your present is my past. Welcome. This is Love Morning. This is a daily practice of gratitude, of intention, of integrity, of authenticity, connection, kindness. Really just trying to figure out who do I want to be and then be that. That's been a big theme for me lately. I had a great conversation yesterday with Ladybug about where I've been at the last 5 months and some of the growth and what it has resulted in. And one of the big things that I've noticed the last few weeks, and also this is partially because I'm deeply in love right now, in addition to all of this inner work of dealing with worthiness and feeling like I feel good about myself right now. And in this process of trying to focus on being the best me I can and being content with who I am and making sure I'm in integrity, like that's enough. The whole concept of my coaching, of the pink path, is not who do you want to, like, it's not what are you going to do? How can you be successful? No, it's who are you going to be as a just be. And following and becoming the person that is in integrity and in alignment. And then whatever you do is part of that. And it doesn't matter what you do, because whatever you do as that is purposeful, is impactful. It has the vibrations that create ripples in the world as just the way they're supposed to. You can let go of trying to do and fix and push and move and get. No. Be. And then allow. And lately I've been feeling really be awesome. So thank you for being a part of this journey and having faith with me. I hope you are on a journey of some sort, because this examined life is, it's the wildest ride in town. Good morning, Nick. Love your bike. Congrats on getting the kick-ass blue bike ready for Playa. And good morning, Dawn. Hello to you in Utah. I'm in San Diego, California, where it is pale blue sky and sunny. Had a nice bit of overcast yesterday and even some rain yesterday. And I saw the movie Oppenheimer. I am grateful for that film. I'm grateful for the artistry required to create a film like that. I mean, just the acting is so good, the directing, the editing, the music, the soundscapes. It really made me think a lot about. I mean, I don't think there'll be a spoiler. This is a historical movie, so I'm not really giving spoilers. You know, Oppenheimer's was in charge of the project to create the atom bomb. And the need to do that was not to try to, kill people. It was the going on the assumption that the Nazis are building this bomb, and the Nazis have a eradication of people from the earth philosophy, and having that kind of conviction with that level of value of human life that are not their own, that's a really, really dangerous proposition. Because you would think, well, who would want to drop a bomb like that and kill that many people? Well, who would want to exterminate whole groups of people? So that's this moral quandary of how could you be a part of creating something, this mass destruction weapon, and putting that, well, because the only way to avoid the same weapon being in the hands of somebody who's clearly demonstrated the a lack of restraint when it in these to use something like that. So I'm explaining this poorly. Hopefully this is not news to you, but just like getting in that headspace of like, what could that have been like? And the other thing that was really interesting for me as I was watching it was there were times when I got really emotional, and I'm just now kind of putting it into place, and why some of the things why they're so triggering for me is, I grew up. I was born in 1971, and so my youth was deep in the Cold War. And if you're younger than me, you might not know, we were in this arms race with Russia. And when things would get tense politically, and Khrushchev from Russia would be yelling, or there was, when there was conflict between these two superpowers, Russia and the US, one possible outcome was nuclear war. And if one, and this, the reason why there wasn't that war is because the both people know this like mutual destruction. Like if the way Oppenheimer, well, I won't say how he said it in the movie, but we're not going to send ours, because even if we win, you send yours and all our people die too. So mutually assured destruction. So, but that is a possibility. And if enough people get into that irrational anger place, what if there's a mistake? What if somebody does the calculations and they think, actually, I think we can get our bombs off quick enough, or we've got a new technology that could get it so that we could destroy them. And so this was a huge part of my childhood, this very clear awareness that nuclear holocaust was a possibility. And I kind of forgot how haunted I was by that. And I can remember drawing art of mushroom clouds and people screaming. Oh, wow, that just hit me hard. I had a drawing, a face that I would draw over and over and over, of a screaming face. Oh my God, I forgot this. And I used to hear in the silence, I would hear what sounded to me like the breathless end of a scream, like almost like not a sound, but just like the feeling of the end of the scream. And then there was something in that equation that made me think about the end of human life, and then what was the meaning of anything. And this was like, I remember this is like 5th grade when I got really depressed. And this is significant because this has been a part of my recent therapy. As in 5th grade is when I went to a special school, and that I went from being the smartest kid in the class to a not smartest. And then when I freaked out and I became a class clown, jerk off kid. And then I spiraled into I'm worthless, I'm stupid. And that combined with this sense of the world of being this place of, never know when we're all going to die. That combination of lack of identity, lack of self-worth, and a world that makes no sense and is with apocalypse upon us. It was a place that I had a suicide attempt. And I don't know, I don't remember it fully. I remember my mom caught me with a robe tied around my neck, hanging off of a doorknob. And I don't know if I could have killed myself doing that or if I just wanted to. I don't know what I wanted, but I was taken from there and got into therapy real quick. And the result from that, I was in therapy for a while, but I was taken from. They decided to take me out of this special school and to put me back into regular school where I was smart again. And that chapter of my life, so much of my life since, and my anxiety issues, maybe not anxiety, but a lot of my psychological struggle goes back to those moments of that fear of whatever happened to get me to that place of despair, that darkness that I felt during that chapter of my life. I'm so afraid of that darkness that I will do anything to avoid getting into it. And so one of my fear of failure is attached to that. Like if I fail at things, then I'm worried that I'll go back to that place of I'm not good enough, and I'll go back to that darkness of that. I mean, I can barely remember that darkness, but I just remember I had built up this defense mechanism, like don't let that happen again. Don't go there. You cannot go there. You cannot go there. And so then I started to have this anxiety feeling around a lot of things. I think because my system was trying to protect me from getting to that darkness, and I started to have terror around this anxiety feeling because I associated it with the darkness. Now, the anxiety it was a part of my growth recently has been it's not that big a deal. The feeling is not so bad. And my therapist congratulated me on separating the fluttery anxiety messaging from my system from the deep, dark despair feeling. And I was thinking like, cool, I'm done. And she's like, okay, so I think maybe next we need to work on feeling that deep, dark despair feeling. And I was like, but I think she's right. I think that I am not a fifth grader anymore, and I do have a tool set and a worldview and a spiritual view that I think can feel and experience what I could not handle in fifth grade, and then again in eighth grade. And then periodically through my life, as I just got close to that edge of failure or not good enoughness. So Oppenheimer, and remembering this time in my life when nuclear war was a part of my daily thoughts, brought me back to some of that stuff. So I think I'm grateful. I'm grateful this morning for this beautiful story and powerful piece of art to hopefully help me on my path of healing. Good morning, Mingle, and thank you. And good morning, Rexana. Rexana saying, I'm grateful you are here on this planet and share so much with all of us. I'm grateful I'm still here on this planet. I recently had a very scary medical emergency. I'm recovering and doing well. That is good to hear. I'm grateful you're here too. I'm grateful I'm here too. I had this moment in Big Sur with Lisa, and I was so fucking happy. was like, there were times when I wanted to kill myself. If I knew this was waiting for me, what a tragedy it would have been if I chose to end my life knowing that there was so much joy ahead. It's hard to think about that when you're in the dark places, though. Mingle says, gratitude for your sharing and vulnerability. Thank you, Mingle. I've been really finding strength. I always have, but I've been feeling extra strength lately in a transparency. I know that I'm having a human experience, and there's nothing that I am experiencing or going through or feeling or thinking that is abnormal, that is beyond the human experience, that is shameful. I used to have some shame about my addictions and drug use. And in this place I'm in now, I feel like I just, right before here, I peed and I missed a bowl. It's weird, about 2% of the time that I pee, the stream doesn't go straight. I'm like, what the, oh, fuck, what? So I sit down a lot when I pee, which I just heard Kevin Hart just go off on even the question of do you sit when you pee? But I sit when I pee quite a bit because 2%, that's terrible odds. I hate cleaning up pee. And when you clean up pee, it's like, do you ever really clean it all up? So here, is there shame in that? That's my human experience. It happened. Am I an idiot for that happening? Am I an idiot for the way the body works? No, I mean, no. It's just, I'm humaning, right? And I think that there's a lot of good that can happen in the world if we all just remembered that we're all humaning and we're all kicking ass sometimes and fumbling at others. I'm not sure if there's any chat in YouTube, or if I'm getting screwed again by the system. Oh well. Paine's here and says, grateful for cinemas. I wish more people would attend them. Yeah, there was very few people when I went. But in this last week, I saw Barbie in the theater and I saw Oppenheimer in the theater. Both fucking great, super enjoyable for very different ways, but both just artistic creations of. I mean, how it's kind of mind-boggling, how much money they put in these movies, and you can see oh wow, you're creating a world, and you surrender into this belief of, and get told a story and get to experience things outside of your life. That's kind of, I mean, one of the things I love about this practice and the practice of the daily gratitude circles that we do, which you're always welcome to, is as you live your life, you get to experience first person what's happening in your life. But as you share with other people and you hear about what they're going through, you get to experience more your life plus. And so you get to hear other people's triumphs and their struggles. And life is just richer and richer as you get to find genuine human experiences that people are sharing with you. And art, one form of art, is that same kind of giving you the ability to think about and experience aspects of life or another person's life or history in a way that is beyond your life itself. And one of the reasons why I love science fiction, or I used to love it. Now that the future has gotten so present, I don't enjoy science fiction as much. But I used to love sci-fi because you can play in the realm of humanness and humanity and the desires of humans with a context of a different world, different cultural pressures, different expectations. And that's one of the great things about art, is to magnify our life beyond the singular human experience we're having. On one hand, having a singular human experience is the gift of being a human. We are also, I believe, divinity. The oneness of the universe is my concept of God. And so we are of that, but we are experiencing the consciousness that we are experiencing is this fractional, teeny tiny sliver of the oneness. And there's a super gift to that. There's a joy to not knowing what's happening next, and getting to have the drama and the excitement and the struggles and then the love and the betrayal. All that stuff is this wild ride that only can happen when you have a fractional thing. But books and movies and sharing with other people helps us, that little sliver grows, and we get to go, wow, 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 wow. And then even as big as a human sliver can get is still just a teeny, 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 tiny sliver of the universe. Isn't that crazy? Gerbot says, all one, yes. John says, I can't wait to see both of those movies. I highly recommend them both. Again, very different experiences. I would watch Barbie before you go out partying, and Oppenheimer before you go home to journal and maybe exercise or something. I don't know. There's a lot to chew on. Gerbot's going to see it in Oppenheimer in IMAX tonight. Sweet. I didn't see either of these in like special theaters. But compared to, watching thing on my phone or my laptop, any cinema is awesome. And even, I think for me, the cool thing about cinema is the sound. Like the audio experiences of these movies. Like Oppenheimer is one that I would say see in a theater. Like to have the experience of the explosions and the there's just, and the sound, there's the audio work in Oppenheimer is fucking part of the story. It's really beautiful. Hello HPNC, and thank you for everyone who is here from Facebook and especially YouTube. YouTube, I don't know what happened. Some little setting went to private, and so everything looked good for me the last few days, but it just wasn't going public. And I don't know why or how that happened, but I think it's fixed. If you're here and you've got some gratitude to share, we would love to hear something you're grateful for. As tiny as that beautiful cup of coffee you might be enjoying, or something you saw on TV that you enjoyed, or how incredibly amazing the function of your thumb is. Anything you're grateful for, would love to hear about it. And in a moment or two, we'll have a hug and then go off into our days as love ambassadors, as beautiful examples of humans seeking to connect and be kind and be authentic. So simple, not so easy. Oh, I said that I was going to talk about my worst teacher ever. Hello, Scary Mac. Scary Mac is grateful for a beautiful day in Colorado. We're in Colorado. I love Colorado. I have been, as I've been totally distraught with heat, and I'm in San Diego, which is like one of the mellowest heat places, in the country. Someone was saying that altitude is a way that you can escape the heat. Like go to places where it's in the altitude, then you can have cool summers. And I was like, because the beach in the summertime I love the beach in the wintertime. I don't like the beach in the summertime at all. Oh, John is in San Diego. Well, hello, John. I'm John. Gearbot says, I love when I can feel the sound and the music in my body. Yeah. I went with my dad who wears hearing aids, and so I wasn't sure if that would make it better or worse for him to have it just like, whoa. Oh, Durango. Cool. All right. So I wanted to tell the story of Mr. Campiglia. I think it was Campiglia is how he pronounced it, but it's spelled Campiglia. And this came up in conversation in this week's Hard on the 80s podcast that I do with Shonda and my brother, where we rewatch old movies and then talk about them and the things that come up for us. And so with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, great movie. We talked about mall jobs, and we talked about getting caught masturbating, and we talked about early learning about sex and stoners at our high school, and bad teachers, and my brother brought up Mr. Campiglia, and I had forgotten. So I went to this is in junior high. I went to a school that had integration. So half the school was bussed in from the other side of the track. So it was like half white kids, half black, Latino, mostly black. And so these classes, so I took his class, and during the first week, this teacher is just atrocious. There was one time somebody was like talking in class, so he made the kid who wasn't paying attention stand up and hold a music stand over his head as just like to force him to pay attention and to make an example of him. Another time, we were going around reading passages from the textbook about music, and there was a kid who was not a good reader, and he was struggling. And so Mr. Campiglia made him come to the front of the class and read to force him to look stupid. And if I remember, he like threw the book down and like got in Mr. Campiglia's face, and like it was gross and uncomfortable. So anyways, after the first week, we took our first test, and then he pulled aside me and I think like 8 kids and said, hey, you guys did the best on this test. A woman in the community has just offered to teach viola to you guys. We've got violas at the school. Do you want to learn how to play viola instead of taking my music class? And we're like, get out of class with you fucking racist asshole. Yes. So we take this class with this woman instead, and it's cakewalk. She doesn't teach us anything. We just mess around. She plays every once in a while. It was like almost like we did not go into class, just socialized. But every time we got a progress report, she gave us an A. She gave us an A. She gave us an A. And then like a week and a half before the end of the semester, she propositioned all of us and said, hey, I'm doing private classes for pay outside of school. So would you guys like to keep learning with me outside of class? And apparently that was not part of the arrangement. And Mr. Campiglia was pissed. He felt like he had been taken advantage of. He felt like this woman offered this just so that she could market and build her clientele. And then so he felt like had been made the fool. So he fired her, and we all went to the regular class for the last week and a half, and then we got our report cards in the mail, and he gave us all C's. Now, I was a straight A student. All of us were good students. That's why we were pulled aside. So I am just so distraught. Went down to the school with my mom, crying. My mom helps me explain like why this is unfair. And Mr. Campiglia hands me a viola and says, you think you learned A quality work? Play me something. And of course I could not, because I was not taught that, which was not my fault. And so I cry and then leave without, luckily enough of these PTA activist parents complained that he raised my C to a B. All of us in that class got Bs. But I'm like, what a dick. And then my brother had to take this mandatory music class a couple years later. And Mr. Campiglia, the first week, this, I think this, it was a class. It was like what is, you had to know, like, what do you, could you read music and stuff? My brother couldn't read music, neither could I. I didn't know anything. Um, but my brother got a 20 out of 100 on the test. And so in front of the class, Mr. Campilia says, "How long have you been in this country?" What a dick! Now it turns out that teacher's assistant graded my brother's test wrong. He did better than that. But what the fuck? And Mr. Campilia never apologized or said anything. And I think about, like, so my, like, he was like a cartoonish villain, like the worst. My brother just sent me his obituary. He passed maybe in 2004, I think, 2008. And the obituary is filled with stories of how beloved he was by the San Diego Youth Symphony. And it kind of all makes sense to me. Like, this was a guy who loved music and he wanted to be a conductor. And the best he could do is conducting the Youth Symphony, which is a compromise, I'm sure, for him. But that's not a full-time paying job. So he has to go work and teach music to these kids that don't give a fuck about the thing that he is so passionate about. He so loves. He just so wants to be a conductor. And he has to spend every day with these kids that just are so uninterested in his passion. And I think there's a little lesson in here, which is it's not always the best idea to try to make a living doing what you love. Mr. Campiglia would have been better off getting a job at an office and making money. I mean, teaching isn't a high-paying thing, so getting a job that paid enough, and then with his free time, teaching students that loved music, or getting passionate about the symphony, which he clearly was, but to spend every day of his life forced to be working, and it just killed his spirit, and he infected hundreds, thousands of kids. It's 40 years later, 35 years later, and he's the worst teacher I ever had. And my brother and I are still talking about what a negative impact he had in our lives, and clearly way worse lives on the black kids in that class. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, yes, do what you love, but not at the expense of your passion. Rest in peace, Mr. Campilia. Good morning, Joyous. And good morning, Carolyn. Carolyn, good to see you. It says, I am so thankful to be getting ready for the best thing in the world. My pilgrimage to Mecca makes me so happy. I love the new challenges every year. It's like a puzzle box you can't figure out, but do at the last second. Wow, my eyes are kind of tripping on me right now. This was happening yesterday. I wonder what the deal is. Yeah, I've been getting very excited about the burn prep. Like, I'll show you what I haven't tried on another outfit today. Got some new pants. These like star. Can you see the stars on these things? Look at that. Gerbot pointing out, also being a teacher is a hard and undervalued job. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you're right. I should have acknowledged that. And over time, I mean, I bet Mr. Campilia walked in to class first day so excited to share music with youth, as he does with his symphony and all these passionate kids. And then he gets to this public school where most of your job is getting kids to not chew gum or pay attention. It must just be crushing. Joyous says, I'm grateful for this Tuesday and the full moon. Yay. You know, I heard it's going to be a full moon at Burning Man. Hey, Ross. Ross says, be careful with the ring lights and UV burn. I'm wondering, I'm like, I don't think I've got the camera's right here. I've got a window open, but it's not that bright. I don't know. Gerbot says, oh my God, it's full of stars. I'm trying to remember, is that Contact? Or 2001? Interstellar? All these movies kind of get blurry to me. 2001. Thank you. Tell me what movie that's from. I can't do that, Hal. Come on, what movie is that from? I'm sorry, Hal. I can't do that. When I was in the adult industry, everyone called me Hal instead of Halcyon. All right. Well, I hope that this day is filled with things for you to be grateful for. And we practice finding things to be grateful for. Because I guarantee there's things to be grateful for. It just takes sometimes a little bit of discipline and control of your thoughts. That's a skill that I think could have helped Mr. Campelia. Blue Moon at Burning Man, says Neck and Joyous. Excellent. Juan says, I want to make sure to find you and hug you at the burn in 2023. You know what? I'm going to post a schedule. Like, I have some off, like, hours, shifts that I have at Pink Heart. So, like, Thursday is the Pink Ride at noon. And then after the Pink Ride, I'm working the water bar from 3 to 6. So, like, Thursday, 3 to 6, I will be at Pink Heart. So, if you want to come by and say hello, that would be a perfect time. Also, Sunday, 3 to 6 at Pink Heart. If you're there on Sunday, I will be working the water bar. Other than that, I'll probably be at Pink Heart a lot at 9 and E. But I hope I get to see you too, Juan. And I will print something up so I can post that schedule. Also got a wedding Thursday afternoon. Well, a renewing of vows. Hello, Faith, and hello, everyone. All right, well, this is delightful as always. I'm going to be putting up a new Stay Sparked episode. Oh, actually, it's live. I already put it live. I just got to change the title. It's about how to avoid being a jaded burner and what's still magic about Burning Man. And so that is the Stay Sparked podcast. The new episode is live. I think it's good. And Sunday, I'm in the second shift, so 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is when I am working the water bar on Sunday. Yes. So wherever you are, let's give a big hug and a big squeeze of appreciation to this body and all of those that are here at this moment with us, appreciating our healing, appreciating our digestive systems, appreciating our vision and our sensations, appreciating all the little bits of gratitude and the knowledge of these fellow humans around the world that are also like-minded and open-hearted people, knowing that there's lots of us out there. And so choosing to not be convinced by any of the news about how crappy the world is. No, there's lots of good in it because we are part of that good. So we break the rule. Let's be a rule breaker in the sense of being the example that makes it so you can't say people suck. Because we are many. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and you beautiful ambassador of love, thank you for being here, joining us for this love morning, being a part of Hug Nation. Do this every day at 9 a.m. Pacific, and then gratitude in Zoom at noon and 6 and 3 a.m. And, boy, I think I oversaturate people. And new Stay Sparked podcast on making sure you can still find the magic of Burning Man, and new Hard on the 80s podcast about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is super funny. And new article on Medium about 42 ways to ruin Burning Man. Man. I just 2 days ago told someone that I've not been productive lately, and then look at me. Yay, see you every day. Thanks, Juan. Bye, Gerbot. Bye, Scary. Bye, John and Joyous. Bye, Mingle. Oh, sorry. Let me correct that. No, the Sunday that I'm working the water bar is the first day of the burn, not Temple Day. I'm still unsure if I'm going to be there for Temple Burn. Saturate us, John. That sounded kind of adult in nature. I love you. Happy Tuesday.